My name is Inez Ellis. I'm 36, and I work as a project estimator for a commercial HVAC company in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Two-bedroom rental, $1,280 a month. A black 2015 Camry with a dent near the rear wheel and a personality quirk that makes me check my bank app before I fall asleep. Not because I'm reckless, because I'm careful. Because I've learned that if I don't watch my numbers, nobody else will. I'm the quiet helper. I'm the woman who shows up early to set up chairs and stays late folding tables while everyone else is already posting photos with captions about family. I'm the one who fronts money just until Friday. The one who figures out the split when nobody else can do math after sangria. The one who gets praised for being so reliable the way people praise an extension cord, only noticed when they need to plug something in. And in my family, that role has been permanent. The golden child is my younger sister, Bree. She's 33, a single mom with dramatic lashes and even more dramatic opinions. The kind of confidence that convinces people she must be right, even when she's wrong. When she rear-ended a mailbox in high school, Mom called it senioritis. When I scraped a mirror on Dad's truck at 19, he took my keys for a month because I didn't respect property. When Bree forgot to pay her utility bill last year, Dad sent her $350 with a smiley face. When I mentioned I was short on cash after my son's ER visit, Mom said, "You need to budget better." That imbalance wasn't a one-time thing. It was a pattern, a climate. Something you breathe for so long you stop realizing it's toxic. Anyway, this story is about one birthday party, a phone, a bill, and a boundary I should have set years ago. And yes, there's a receipt. The party was at Sky One because my son Leo is 7 and currently believes trampolines are a legitimate form of flight training. I put the deposit on my Discover card, $1,450, on April 28th at 9:12 a.m., and paid the remaining balance the morning of for $1,152.80 after tax. I ordered the sheet cake from Merritt's, $62.90, half chocolate, half vanilla, blue buttercream. I still have the receipt tucked in my glove box like it's evidence from another life. I even picked up a Costco fruit tray for the health-conscious relatives we never actually have. Bree offered to help with decorations, which meant she arrived an hour late holding a single helium balloon and a ring light. "Content," she said, spinning in the doorway like Sky One was a runway. "Don't be weird about it." Leo's dad, Jason, was there too. We split 3 years ago, but we're cordial, co-parent cordial. The kind where you communicate clearly, avoid landmines, and both pretend you're not still tired. He stood next to me with napkins in his pocket and that anxious smile divorced dads get in public places. He chipped in. He bought the paper goods and a Lego set that, spoiler, never even got fully opened. I do have a boyfriend now. Miles. Steady. Quiet. The kind of man who doesn't need to be loud to be present. He was out of town for work that weekend, but he texted me that morning. "Breathe. If anything gets weird, call me." I didn't think I'd need to. I bought the gift not because an iPhone for a 7-year-old is normal. It isn't. But Leo walks to the bus stop at my place every other week, and after that stray dog incident, he'd started gripping my hand too tightly, asking the same questions over and over. Jason and I agreed on a starter model, nothing fancy. iPhone SE, 3rd gen, 128 GB, $129 before tax, Apple Store at Woodland Hills. I picked it up at 11:06 a.m., tossed the bag into my trunk under a blanket, and felt, just for a moment, proud. I added a cheap case from Five Below with little planets on it because Leo's into space. That feeling didn't last. The family hierarchy showed itself the second we walked in. Bree floated around hips first. Charm switched on, while Mom ran interference like a PR manager. "Inez," Mom said breathless, pinning a crepe streamer to the wall. "Bree's had a rough week. Don't give her tasks." She didn't say I'd had a rough month. She didn't say I covered Bree's $1,200 car insurance premium in January when her policy lapsed. She didn't say I was still paying $39.99 a month on my AT&T account because I'd added an extra line 2 years ago just for emergencies and somehow never stopped. She didn't say anything because I'm the quiet helper. I just do it. 2 quick examples because they matter later. Last Thanksgiving, Bree collected everyone's cash for the shared grocery run. I handed her $120. She texted me a photo from Whole Foods, 4 pies and 1 turkey breast, and said, "You'll love it." We ate ham from my freezer. In March, Dad forgot his wallet after dinner at Smoke. The bill was $184.62. Everyone paused like it was a group exercise. I slid my card into the leather folder. Dad patted my shoulder like I wanted applause. So when the gift opening started, I was alert, but still hopeful. Leo sat cross-legged on the foam floor, cheeks flushed from bouncing, hair damp under a paper crown. He opened the Lego from his dad and squealed. Then Hot Wheels, socks, a hoodie. Then the white apple bag. I pulled it toward him. "This one's from Grandpa," I said, because that was easier than explaining adult money to a child. Leo's eyes went wide in that way kids' eyes do when magic feels real and reachable. That's when Evan swooped in. Evan is Bree's son. He's 10, and he has a remarkable instinct for appearing whenever something expensive is within arm's reach. He tore the paper, flipped the box, and shouted, "Mine now!" I blinked. I honestly thought I'd misheard him. Then the room laughed. Not one person, everyone. Like it was cute, like it was a joke. Even the party host laughed, then stopped when she saw my face. "Evan," I said evenly, holding my voice like glass. "That's for Leo." Bree was filming. Of course she was. "Evan's phone died," she said, not moving. "He needs something for school. He's older." "It's from me to Leo," I repeated. Dad waved a plastic fork in the air. "Don't make a scene." Leo stared at his shoes. His crown slid sideways. Jason's hand hovered near his shoulder, unsure whether to step in. I nodded like a bobblehead, and in a voice I barely recognized, I said, "Sure." I let Evan hold the box. He whooped like he'd won something. Bree kissed his cheek. "Say thank you, baby." "Thanks, Aunt Inez," he said, already peeling the plastic. Something in me went quiet then. Not anger, clarity. It got worse fast. The bill came to me because my card was on file. Extra pizzas, Bree added. Extra drinks. A last-minute event fee. The total was $1,787.36. The teenager at the counter apologized and held out the screen. "Do you want me to split it?" I looked across the room. Mom smiled that fixed smile. Dad counted napkins. Bree filmed again. "It's fine," I said, and added a tip, because I'm not cruel. That night, Leo asked once where his phone was. Then he didn't ask again. At 8:52 p.m., my phone buzzed. "Your AT&T line has been activated on a new device. Line nickname, Evan. Activation time, 5:12 p.m. During my son's birthday party." I didn't scream. I didn't drive back. I took screenshots. And I saved them in a folder called Family. Because that laugh? That was the moment everything changed. I didn't sleep much that night. Not because I was angry. Anger burns hot and then fades. This was colder than that. It was the feeling you get when something finally clicks into place and you realize it's been wrong for a very long time. At 6:10 a.m., my coffee maker hummed to life. I packed Leo's lunch, ham sandwich, carrot sticks, the yogurt tubes he loves for reasons I don't understand, and wrote field trip money, $15 always, on the whiteboard by the door. When I double knotted his shoes, he asked if he could bring his Lego astronaut to school. "Pocket only," I said. "Astronauts don't go in backpacks." He smiled like that was the best rule he'd ever heard. Jason watched from the kitchen doorway. When Leo disappeared into the bathroom, he asked quietly, "What are you going to do?" I didn't look up. "I'm going to stop being a resource." He nodded. "Do you want me there?" "No," I said, "but thank you." At 8:05 a.m., I typed up a single-page document. Not legal language, just numbers, dates, boundaries. I printed it at FedEx, black and white, because color is 69 cents a page and there's a line between making a point and wasting money. At 9:12 a.m., I texted Mom. "Family breakfast, our place. 9:30, need 10 minutes. She heart-reacted it like it was sweet. They arrived right on time. Dad wore his University of Tulsa hoodie. Mom carried a bag of grapes no one would eat. Bree came in sunglasses, like my kitchen lights were paparazzi. "This better not be an ambush," she said, perfume first, attitude second. "It's breakfast," I said. Miles wasn't there, but he texted me from a different time zone. "You're doing the right thing." I didn't reply. I set my phone face down. I poured coffee. Nobody reached for the grapes. I placed the stack of papers on the table and slid the first one toward Dad, because he treats everything like a meeting. "What's this?" he asked. "AT&T activation email," I said. "Line name, activation time." He read. His jaw tightened, not anger, not disbelief. Recognition. The math catching up. That's just an email, Bree said quickly. Emails can be faked. I slid the next page over. Sky One receipt. $1,187.36. Time-stamped. I paid for the party, I said. Glad I did. I'm not mad about that part. I am done paying for your phone line. Mom sighed. Inez, honey. I lifted my hand. Slow. There's more. I slid the Zelle summary across the table. $7,500 since January. Dates, amounts, notes. Bree rolled her eyes. Okay, so you helped, and we love you for that. You love my card, I said. Dad folded his arms. You were told not to make a scene. I didn't, I said. I'm making a boundary. Silence stretched like pulled taffy. The spare line is off, I continued. No more transfers. No more being the card on file for family dinners. If I'm invited, I pay for me and Leo. That's it. Mom blinked. You're overreacting. And the phone? Bree started. I slid the last page forward. Car insurance proof of coverage. 2018 Hyundai Elantra. Title holder, Inez Ellis. Bree's car. I bought it at CarMax in 2022 when your credit was wrecked, I said. You promised $250 a month. I got one payment. Mom's voice went thin. What are you saying? I set my keys on the table. The second fob, the blue one, landed with a soft clink. I'm not taking your car, I said. I'm taking my car back until there's a written plan. Bree stared like I'd spoken another language. That's not fair. It's not a punishment, I said. It's a line. Dad leaned back slowly. He's got the title, he said, to Mom, not to me. It's reasonable. Mom shot him a look sharp enough to cut glass. Bree pivoted to tears. You're punishing a child, she said. Evan's going to be devastated. I'm not punishing anyone, I said. I'm just not paying for your decisions anymore. She tried another angle. I could report the phone stolen. It's on my account, I said. They'll talk to me. Her mouth opened, closed. I slid the simple plan across the table. 3 lines. Dates, signature spots. Dad read it slowly, then nodded. Sign it, Bree. She laughed, sharp and humorless. You win. I didn't win, I said. I just stopped playing. At 11:05 a.m., I stood in the AT&T store on 41st. The guy in the blue shirt asked how my day was going. Boundary day, I said. He nodded like he'd heard that before. At 11:22 a.m., the spare line was gone. At 12:08 p.m., Apple unlocked the phone. At 1:40 p.m., the Elantra sat parked behind my building with a sign on the dash that read, Not in use. At 3:03 p.m., a Zelle notification hit my phone. $126.18. Insurance. I didn't respond. At 4:10 p.m., Leo bounced off the bus and froze when he saw the white box on the counter. You got it back, he said. I did, I said. And we're going to talk about rules. He nodded like rules made sense again. That night, Bree texted, I need the car. I didn't reply. Because this wasn't about being loud. It was about being finished. The quiet afterward was louder than the fight ever would have been. That's the part no one warns you about, how setting a boundary doesn't bring relief right away. First, it brings vacuum, a hollowed-out space where noise used to live, where late-night, can you help me texts used to buzz like mosquitoes. By 7 p.m., my phone had 12 missed calls. Bree, Mom. Then Bree again. A voice memo I didn't open. Another one that started with, Wow, Inez, and ended with, You're really doing this. I turned on Do Not Disturb and put my phone face down. Leo sat beside me on the couch, legs tucked under him, the iPhone between us like something fragile and important. We picked a ringtone together, soft chimes. He said it sounded like a robot trying to be polite. Can I call Grandma? He asked. In a minute, I said. First, we talk about rules. He nodded, serious, the way kids get when they realize something matters. Meanwhile, the fallout spread outward like ripples. Bree borrowed Uber rides she couldn't afford and made sure everyone knew it. Mom texted me that I was embarrassing the family. Dad sent a single shrug emoji, which somehow said more than a paragraph. Miles called that night. His voice was calm, anchored. How are you holding up? Like I pulled out a splinter that's been there so long it feels wrong not to hurt anymore. He exhaled. That's normal. Then, because drama hates a vacuum, his ex, Tara, found out. She didn't text me directly. She posted. Vague captions. Some people confuse boundaries with control. Mutuals liked it, Bree commented with a heart. I laughed once. A short surprise sound. Then I blocked her. Because this wasn't about winning public opinion. It was about changing my life. On day 3, Mom called again. I let it ring out. She texted instead. "You're taking this too far." I replied once, "I'm not available for this conversation." And then I stopped explaining. At 3:40 p.m. on Thursday, Bree showed up at my door with $200 folded into her palm like a peace offering. She didn't apologize, not really. She said, "I didn't think you'd actually do it." "I did," I said. I took a photo of the odometer before handing her the keys back. She noticed. She hated it. Good. Leo adjusted faster than anyone. When Evan asked to hold the phone at Dad's backyard birthday a week later, Leo looked at me first. I shrugged. "Your call." "You can look," Leo said carefully, then added, "but not mine now." Evan laughed. A real laugh. He handed it back. Kids adapt when adults stop twisting the world for them. The spreadsheet helped. Simple columns, dates, amounts, no shame, just facts. I shared it with Mom and Dad, so the word help stopped floating like fog. On June 30th at 1:02 a.m., Dad sent me $600 with a note that said, "We've been unfair." I stared at my phone longer than I meant to. That was the apology. Not fireworks, not a speech, just money and truth arriving late. The bigger change was quieter. Fewer demands, fewer emergencies. The group chat shifted from requests to photos of my niece's art projects. The AT&T alerts were just mine now. Little pings when Leo called from Jason's to say goodnight and tell me which planet he learned about. "It's Saturn," he said. "I like the rings." Bree and I don't hang out. We exchange logistics, payments, dates. If she misses one, the car stays parked. She's missed once. It sat 3 days. She was angry. I was peaceful. Mom tried one last time. She pulled me aside by the hydrangeas and said, "You embarrassed your sister." "I stopped subsidizing your daughter," I said. "Those are different." She didn't like that answer. I didn't argue. I left the party early. Leo was sticky and happy and tired. Back home, I put the signed plan in a cheap folder labeled car. The AT&T passcode went into my lockbox with the lease and passports. I replaced the Discover card that had been on file everywhere and didn't announce it. I just did it. My moral isn't poetic. I'm not a resource. I'm a person with a kid, a budget, and a spine. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I showed the receipt. I set the terms. And when they told me not to make a scene, I learned the trick I should have known all along. You don't need a scene to change the ending.